Mr. Rajay Gowda, of course, he's the chairman, is my colleague, and also Mr. Shivashankar and other ESCOM's chairman and DTs and all. I don't say that is the last but not least, the lineman, who is the last person, the junior engineers, they will all work round the clock. This is a very difficult portfolio which I am handling, because I handle many other portfolios, like Pralhad Joshi also handled very important sensitive portfolio in center. But this is very interesting. This gives a satisfaction. We can achieve, we can show the people what we could able to do it. Recently, when we come to power, there was no demand for power, because earlier 2 years we have faced COVID, and all of a sudden, when our new government has come, the demand has gone up to 18,000 megawatt. Earlier it was 11,000 to 12,000 maximum. 1 year, 1 month, we had a shock. What to do? Our chief minister, because people represented to him, only the farmers should get whatever you give, 5 hours or 7 hours. Our policy is to give 7 hours. But chief minister told, 5 hours you give. He called for a meeting of all our officers and engineers. He has taken a stock of the other thing. Then he told us, we suggested also, he told us to give 5 hours uninterrupted supply. Immediately, all of our officers, we worked. We went to the central government. They are very supportive, and whatever the power we surrendered, they are also given back. Mr. Singh was the power minister. He was very supportive to us. Also, he allotted the additional quota for us. And we went to UP and Punjab government. We requested them, give some power when you are the thing. There's no need of you. You can, when you need back, we can give back. It will suit us, because they need the power in our rainy season, and we need power when our summer season. Our summer season, they had excess power with them. That's the banking, the thing we have done. Even now, we are continuing with. I am glad within 1 month we could be able to remove this power cut to be restored for 7 hours. But unfortunately, what happened this year, we went around. The demand was so much power we got, but still we could not able to supply the last mile connectivity, because the transmission, it was not enough. And also substations. All these years, every year, we used to have 40 to 45 substations. Now we are planning to have 100 substations minimum. Already we are going to do it. And also, Kusum C. There is one of the very good program. I want to congratulate the Prime Minister as well as the central government and Energy Minister. It was so nice program. We are supplying power to the substation. There only we are making a solar park. That too with the power private participation. And the rate is also very low rate they quoted. That's why we are going to save in the subsidy. And our farmers are happy. They'll get power for 7-8 hours continuously. They are going to do it. Okay, with all this thing, I know when you got about 16 lakhs kilometers of transmission line, about 12 to 13 lakhs of transformer, there will be problems. There will be maintenance problem will be there. That's why the people, sometimes they think that's a power cut. That is not power cut. We got excess power, and excess power we are selling to the grid also. That is today's our position. We are not keeping quiet. That's why I'm thankful to the central government giving all support to us in our difficulties. I also, Pralhad Joshi, now I think that he is going to announce the future policy for the Kusum B, C, and A. Kusum B also, what we told, because there's to the people, central government subsidies 30% is there, state government was 30%. But the cabinet we have taken to encourage this Kusum B, that's a standalone solar pump sets. That's why we announced 50% from the state, 30% from the center. That's why today we are giving 80%. 80%, there also we are supplying the solar motor also, and everything is there. The farmer has to give about 20% they have to give. That's what the policy we have done. That I think that is also going to be very encourageable program for the farmers. The government of India has set a bold target, 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel capacity by 2030, with 100 gigawatts from wind. Let me say this clearly, Karnataka is not just supporting this goal, we are enabling it. We have a pipeline of 17 gigawatts of wind projects under development. We are building 5 gigawatt of wind capacity for state consumption under our RE cluster program. We are creating infrastructure for 20 substations, 400 kV corridors, and also dedicated RE zones to make this happen. This is not just Karnataka's progress, it is India's progress. We understand that policy without infrastructure is like a car without fuel. That's why we launched the RE cluster program to bold initiative to build the transmission backbone for our renewable energy ambitions. Under this program, we are planning over 5 gigawatt of wind capacity for state consumption by 2029. This includes the development of more than 20 substations across key districts like Tumkur, Chittadurga, Koppal, Gadag, and Davanagar. This also we are going with the private and public partnership. We are already called for tender as per the guidelines of the central government. We are also inviting the private people. I am already told you, the private people are taking a lot of initiative. The state government is very thankful to them, and I congratulate all of them and your association for taking up this project very seriously. Under this program, these are not just substations. They are enablers of transformation. They ensure that the power we generate reaches the people who need it when they need it. Public-private partnership in action. One of the finest examples of what we can achieve through collaboration of the ReNew 400 kV transmission corridor. This project, which connects the wind-rich regions of Gadag and Koppal to the central grid, was delivered on time despite complex land and logistic challenges. This was possible because of seamless coordination between the state government and the central government and private sector. It is a model we intend to replicate across the state. This is Karnataka model, proactive governance, responsive administration, and results on the ground. Karnataka is not just attracting investment, it is earning trust. At the Global Investors Meet 2025, we secured our INR 4 lakh crore in renewable energy commitments, which is nearly 40% of the total investment secured by the state. This is not just capital, it is confidence in Karnataka's policies, its governance, and its future. They trust our execution, and they see Karnataka is the gateway to India's green economy. Dear friends, Karnataka is not just generating wind power, it is generating momentum. Momentum for India's energy future, momentum for a cleaner, greener planet. Let us harness this momentum. Let us lead with courage, collaborate with conviction, and innovate with compassion. Let us ensure that the wind that blows across Karnataka carries with it the promise of a better tomorrow for our people, for our country, and for our planet. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, sir, for your guidance and also sharing with us the government's initiatives and approach towards shaping a more energized, electrified, and empowered Karnataka, working towards Viksit Karnataka and contributing to Viksit Bharat. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we seek to be led by our central ministers, I request our Honorable Minister of State for MNRE, Shri Shripad Yesu Naik ji, for his address, who has been instrumental in steering many national initiatives towards energy access and sustainability. Honorable Minister, Shri Shripad Yesu Naik ji.
नमस्कार। माननीय श्री प्रहलाद जोशी जी, ऑनरेबल यूनियन मिनिस्टर फॉर न्यू एंड रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, श्री के जी जॉर्ज जी, ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ एनर्जी डिपार्टमेंट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ कर्नाटका, श्री टी डी राजगौड़ा जी, MLA and Chairman of KREDL, Sri Santosh Sarangi ji, Secretary MNRE Government of India, Office Bearer of WIPA, IWTMA, IWPA, senior officials and colleagues from MNRE and Government of Karnataka, industry representative, and friends from the media, dignitaries, and delegates, brothers and sisters. It gives me immense pleasure to join you all here today in Bengaluru to mark the celebration of Global Wind Day. This day is not just symbolic. It is a celebration of the collective effort that have helped position India as a leading force in wind energy and a reaffirmation of our shared commitment to the clean energy future. Over the last decade, India has made phenomenal progress in the renewable energy sector, and wind energy stands tall as one of its pillars. As of April 2025, India has installed over 51 gigawatt of wind power capacity, making us the fourth largest wind power producer in the world. This capacity is not just a number. It represents the tireless work of thousands of engineers, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and workers who believed in the promise of wind and helped to convert that belief into reality. Wind power has shown us that it can be both a source of clean energy and an engine of rural development, local employment, and the industrial growth. Wind projects in India have triggered the investments in infrastructure, stimulated local manufacturing, and supported the emergence of new business models. All of this while reducing our carbon